Hey guys, so it's been about 5 days since my near-death experience. It's a stupid mistake and I will never do that again, but kept this on as a reminder because today is probably the first day that I'm starting to feel normal again, and yesterday was the first day that I was coherent. My brother and I were hanging out with some friends and our cousin, and I was mentally unstable because I had just seen my ex and I had given him stuff back, and it was very hard for me to do. So coming from my ex's house, it was my brother and our guy friend, and I mean, they tried to help me a little bit, but they're guys, and I kind of needed girl support. And we had picked up my cousin, and instead of giving me girl support, she passively called me a bitch, so that just made me feel worse. We picked our last friend up at Starbucks, and at that point I was so emotionally unstable and I wasn't thinking straight. My mind was somewhere else, and our guy friend was like, hey, let's go get weed, and we all agreed, and my brother had his card, so he was the one who bought it. My cousin and I only ate the edible. Our other friends ate and smoked. So they were pretty high. My one friend, I don't think she had ever smoked and ate an edible at the same time, so she got really sick. She started throwing up, but I kind of knew that would happen. My cousin had a really bad trip, and she had a family member pick her up. My other friend was used to it, so it was just us, and I didn't feel okay to drive, and he was too high to drive, so my brother drove us back to where we needed to get, and my brother and I needed to catch a flight. So by the time he had dropped the last person off, all I can remember is feeling really weird. I knew I was high, and I mean, I was chill, I was fine, but I couldn't feel my face. Things were starting to go numb. I feel like my eyes were starting to droop, and I had cotton mouth, and I asked my brother, like, is this normal? And he's like, yeah, you're fine. But I didn't think I was okay. And so as soon as we got back to my grandparents' house, I ran to the bathroom because I really needed to pee. And then I looked in the mirror, and my eyes were starting to swell. Like I said, my mouth was really dry, got cotton mouth, couldn't feel my face, couldn't feel the rest of my body, and I was starting to twitch. At that point, I didn't know what to do exactly, so I texted my aunt, and she came over to my grandparents' house, and by the time she got there, I was lying on my bed. The twitching had grown. The numbness, the tingling, it was all pretty bad, and she said, I think you're having a drug reaction. I was like, okay, and so she started to research the symptoms, and she checked my pulse, and she said it was very high, and it was very faint, so that was a little scary to them, and also, I think my blood pressure was low. I don't know, but they decided to take me to urgent care, and I don't remember getting there. I guess my brother had to carry me some of the time, and he also had to help me walk because I couldn't walk. They said it was very scary to watch, and unfortunately, I was too gone to realize what was happening. They got me in a wheelchair, and from that point on, I remember having a twitch, and it was rhythmic, and it was going with my heart rate, which was kind of scary because I could feel my heart beating throughout my whole body, and it's not like I was in pain. I couldn't feel anything, but it was scary, and I was scared that I couldn't be scared that I knew I was dying. I remember the twitching. I'll demonstrate it for you. It looks funny, but it was rhythmic, was going like this, and then all of a sudden it would stop, and then it would twitch, and then it would start up again. And it got to the point where they said it was really violent, and I was shaking really badly, and my face was swollen, and my brother said he couldn't even look at me. He couldn't come in the room. It was just too scary to watch. We had some family members that showed up, my grandpa and my aunt. They came and they prayed with me. I honestly don't remember a lot of it, but apparently we were there for 6 hours. And I remember at one point my grandma came, and she's a nurse, so I knew I had to pee a lot, and whenever I came back, she was the one who put everything back on, my IV. She didn't wait for the nurse to do it. They all said it was very scary to watch, and they were all freaking out. If I hadn't gone, I would have died. They called the Poison Control Center and asked what they needed to do. They gave me an anti-anxiety med, which stopped the twitching, and I finally was able to rest, and I fell asleep. They discharged me around midnight. They had me in IV, and they pumped 2 bags of fluid through me, I guess to wash out the poison and whatever else was in my body. They got my heart rate down and my blood pressure up, and I ended up being okay. The next day, I vaguely remember what had happened. Like I said, we had to get on a plane, so I really don't even remember that, except sleeping on the plane and then sleeping on the way home. We got home that night, and I remember knocking out, and then the next day sleeping pretty much the whole day. And then yesterday was the first day that I actually felt coherent, although I was still weak. Today's probably the first day that my body feels completely normal. What happened was I am on antidepressants, and the mixture of medicines that I'm on right now is actually a dangerous combination on itself, and the weed just pushed it over the edge. So if I had not gone to urgent care, I would have died. I'm glad to say that I'm here and that we made a decision to go. It was a stupid decision for me to smoke. I didn't know it would happen. I didn't know that I would end up in the urgent care, and like I said, I wasn't thinking straight, but it's not something I will ever do again. I guess the most you can do is research what you can handle and what you can't, especially if you're on meds. I didn't know that combination could have killed me, and I guess it's good to be cautious. I'm only human. It's not a decision that I regret making, because I've actually learned from that experience and I've grown from it. I guess I can use it as an experience to help other people, but I mean, everyone's gonna make their own decisions, and I had made that one, and it's something that I won't do again because I know that I can't. The reason I did it, I won't tell you guys in this video just because there's a lot more to it, but when you're in a mentality and you feel like weed will help you, that's not always the case. I've never liked weed, just because I like having control over my body, and I don't like the feeling I get that I can't feel anything or think straight, or I can't put a sentence together. I hate that, but I don't know, this time I felt like maybe it would help me out. You know, I wasn't in a mental state where I was okay and I wanted to feel okay, and I thought, you know, maybe weed would do that, but instead I almost killed myself. So there's other ways to calm down, and I know that now. When I'm feeling like that, I know I should stay away from weed and alcohol and whatever else. And yeah, so I mean, just be careful what you guys do. I don't really have anything to say. Oh yeah, I kept this on. Like I said, this is like one of the first days that I feel coherent, so I kind of kept this on as a reminder that it did happen. Yeah. 8/21/2015 is when it happened. Yeah. When your family members tell you that it was very scary to watch you like that, kind of makes you not want to do anything like that again. They were all calm, but at the same time, in the inside, they were freaking out. My other grandma was devastated. My aunt said it was very scary. Like I said, my brother couldn't come in the room. He said it was too scary to look at me, and I think I made some people cry, but that was my experience. So thank you guys for watching. I'll have some more videos coming up for sure. Yeah.